Hello ladies and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha, aka Nurse Aisha. I'm a registered nurse here to spread awareness on preventative health and lifestyle choices for women. That is my focus so you can lead a healthy and more informed life. Welcome back to this channel. I'm so happy to have you here. For those of you that are new to this platform, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment on these videos. This is how we grow as a community, and I get to create more content for all of you to enjoy. All right, so let's get into this video. I am here today by myself in the studio. I do not have any fancy guests for you, unfortunately. So bear with me. You're going to hang with me today. And today's topic is about me, my personal story on how I quit smoking cigarettes. Yes, I am not proud to say that I'm a former smoker. And this is my story on how I finally quit smoking after many years. My name is Aisha, and I am a former smoker. Unfortunately, I spent so many years smoking cigarettes, and I want to share my story on how I started, how I continued smoking and carrying on with this horrible habit, and how I finally made the choice and made the right moves for me to quit that horrible habit. This is my story. So let's start from the beginning. When did I start smoking? Now, unfortunately, I started smoking very, very early in my teens. I am not proud to say that I started smoking probably at age God, this is so horrible to even think about. It's such a horrible habit. And being wiser and being a registered nurse today, it's kind of something that even then I was ashamed of, but even more today to even talk about. But this is for a good cause. This is for you, so that maybe you can quit that habit or not. Make sure that your children don't get into this habit. So it's for a good cause that I'm sharing this story. All right, so I started smoking in grade 7 here, 7th grade here. I'm not sure it's equivalent to the 7th grade in your countries, but 7th grade here, you are about 13, 14, somewhere around there. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it was very early, and very ironically, I had been on a school program, the non-smoking generation. We had that at school, just to talk to the other teens that were older than us, to talk to them about quitting smoking, because we had a few of those on the playground that were smoking. So I was part of that non-smoking generation, and there was no cigarettes and all of that. But to be honest, I had been exposed to cigarette smoking, and I got curious, obviously, earlier, even before I took it to myself to actually start, should I say full time, or to start smoking properly, or I don't even know how to say it. But I had been exposed because I had people in my close family that smoked. My auntie smoked cigarettes. Had a few friends, older friends, that smoked cigarettes. And I think I had tried a cigarette earlier, because it was this thing where my friend, that older friend that I had, told me a really stupid, silly thing that, if you smoke a cigarette, you at the end of the cigarette bump, you can find something. It was just something that was silly, and I had done that. I think she gave me a cigarette, and I smoked it in my family's bathroom. It was very strong, And this was something that obviously I knew was wrong, and I didn't want my siblings to find out. I didn't want anyone to find out that I had even done that. So I didn't continue, obviously. But then later on in the 7th grade, I picked up the habit, unfortunately. And obviously, there were other friends that were doing this. So I started with a new crew, so to say, the smoking crew. And I found myself going out on our breaks, going out to smoke. But at this point, I'm living with a family that I didn't want them to find out that I was smoking, and especially not my brothers. It was such a big secret and very important to me that no one found out. So thinking about this all the way from the beginning of my smoking days, of my smoking career, I was ashamed. I was really ashamed of smoking. And for anybody that knows me, that knows Aisha, you know that I'm a lipstick chick. I am this girl that, is very girly, pink, pink, pink. I want to look good. It's lipstick, it's hair, it's makeup, it's shoes. So smoking cigarettes was nothing that was part of this look or this image that I wanted for myself, that everybody knew me for. It was the eyebrows. It was, it was just like, it was nothing that I wanted to do. And I was really ashamed of it. All right. So you're wondering, if I was so ashamed of smoking, then why did I continue smoking? Well, as you know already, it is addictive to smoke cigarettes. I got addicted really soon from smoking cigarettes, and I couldn't beat the habit. I was a young girl. I had no business smoking. So this habit got the best of me, and I got addicted, and it was a losing game. I could not quit the habit. What I did is I would smoke during school hours, and I would then go home and pretend like nothing happened. I was too young, obviously. At that age, you cannot even purchase cigarettes. So I used to get cigarettes from friends, and some older kids that were of age could buy a cigarette sometimes, and we could share a pack. Horrible. Don't do that to young people. Don't buy them cigarettes. Honestly, you're not doing them a favor. You're just not helping at all. So I continued doing this during school. I don't remember hiding from teachers. I believe they knew. They knew that I was smoking, but they couldn't do much. It was nothing that we talked about. Even on, did I even have anyone mention it at any parent meetings? I don't think so. Parent-teacher meetings, nobody actually talked about it. I don't think they did. It was just like, it was nobody's business. And let me know if this is something that you can bring up at a parent-teacher meeting. If a teacher knows that a student is smoking, is this something that you guys even discuss on these meetings? Obviously, if the parents also smoke and it's okay for them and it's something, that they do at home already, that's one thing. But my parents in my household, we did not smoke. Nobody smoked. It was just me. And I don't know if my teachers knew that, we were non-smoking household. I believe that they should have known. So, yeah, I continued smoking, and I was not benefiting at all financially. I don't think that I could even afford cigarettes, really. I mean, yeah, we had our school benefits, but I don't know. Obviously, in the 90s, because this is in the 90s. Yes, 90s. I believe this was, no, I'm not going to say the year, but it was in the 90s. So yes, I'm 40 years old, and it was a long time ago, but it's still a valid story that you can learn something from. All right, so maybe cigarettes were not expensive, but they were expensive for a child. So I continued hiding, and it was emotionally draining, financially draining. This was, a toxic friend, literally a toxic friend that I had. And I thought that they were comforting me. They were not. I was just caught up in this addiction, and I couldn't quit. And as a child, you don't have many tools to quit smoking. So I continued on smoking for years to come, unfortunately. So the other thing that was really, really disturbing about smoking was everything around it. The smell. Because remember, I am this, young girl that likes to smell good, that likes to look good. Now I'm trying to make sure that I don't smell like cigarettes. I am chewing gum. I'm trying to make sure that I have perfume with me somehow so that I don't smell it. I don't smell like... I basically didn't want to be associated with this habit. I tried so much to hide it. And I guess I did a good job because not many people knew that I was smoking. And some people who know me watching this video might even get surprised that I was smoking. There was a time where my big brother found out that I was smoking. And this is because I was smoking with a friend of mine. Not mentioning any names, but I had a best friend growing up, and she and I used to share cigarettes. We used to smoke together, and my brother was friends with her brother, and he found out that way. And when he confronted me, I denied it because that's what you do. You lie. That is also something that is horrible. So you have this bad habit, and on top of that, you're lying, which is another bad habit. So I lied to my brother. I told him, no, we're not smoking. Oh, I think I actually threw my friend under the bus and told him that she was smoking and I wasn't smoking. And he believed me because I was innocent. I was just a young girl. And he believed me, took my word for it. And he said, he talked to me about it being a bad habit and all of that. And I'm so grateful that he did. I guess it planted a seed in me, but not enough to quit right there and then. So now I continue on this journey, and he later finds out that I do smoke, and he was really, really disappointed. But at this point, there was not much that he could do. I was a little bit older and could make my own decisions. I was not of age. I was not 18 yet, but I could make my own decisions. So I continued, which is so sad. I wish that someone could have just shook me and just told me to quit. And I do believe that, my brother did, but it was just not enough. It was not enough. And thinking about it, what would I do if I had someone that I was responsible for, a child that actually did start on this journey? I hope that I have the tools then to be able to talk to them and show them, which I do. You can talk to them from health perspective, what smoking actually does to you, or any other addiction for that matter. But I hope that I can be able to help out for a child, looking at myself that age. Think about what I would have said to my young self to make sure that I actually don't continue on this journey. So how did I then actually quit smoking? Well, that's a very interesting story in itself. So over the years, to be honest, I'm ashamed to say, but also I have to be honest that I smoked for over a decade, right? So I smoked, like I said, from the 90s. And I believe the very last cigarette that I had was in 2016. So do the math. These are many years. I believe it's around a total of 15 years, I believe. Somewhere around there. And obviously during this time, when I was really, really young, it wasn't on a daily. It wasn't like every single day and not every single hour or anything like that. Like I wasn't a chain smoker or anything like that. To begin with, I believe at the end, I wasn't either a chain smoker per se, but I did consume quite a lot of cigarettes, especially if it was there was a party or something, some event going on and you were out, you know, dancing and all of that. So that is also something that was part of a journey, you know, to make sure that when I go on this journey of not quitting smoking, what do I do when I'm out having fun with friends? What do I do instead? So, and that was really interesting. So after I decided that I really want to quit smoking, obviously before it actually happened, I did several things to try and stop smoking. And in different times in that period of these 15 years. So I believe the first thing that I did when I did decide, because I went back and forth into this feeling of, you know, I'm wasting a lot of time with this habit. I want to quit smoking. I didn't really manage to get the right tools. Every now and then I would find something and then I would fall off the wagon, basically. So the first thing I do remember I did is I tried the gum, the nicotine gum. And the percentage of nicotine in that gum made me dizzy, made me, you know, just nauseous. And I couldn't do it. So I had bought a whole pack of this and I just felt like vomiting. So I couldn't do it. So then I went back to like, okay, then I can do without. I will smoke without using anything to help me. Something that really worked for a longer period of time was the patch, the nicotine patch. Remember, the patch has different strengths. Like I think there's 12, 24, something like that. But I think it's how long the patch lasts. But that was actually also too strong for me that I cut it in 2 pieces. That is how I got it to work. And that worked for me longer, like it was not too strong. And at this point, I am actually a nurse and working in a hospital, and we were not allowed to go out and smoke, which was good because that also became a thing when I actually was old enough to start working. I was ashamed to show for my workmates to find out that I'm a smoker because most of the people that I worked with did not smoke, and we're working with health, ironically. So obviously I cannot be there, you know, as a smoker and, you know, try to pretend or something. It wasn't a good fit to be a smoking nurse. It's never a good fit to be a smoking nurse. That's the honest of all things, because it's kind of contradictive of what you're doing. You're working with getting people healthier, and here you are not caring enough about your own health, right? I hope that we're doing better as nurses. So anyways, so I tried the patch and that worked a little bit, but then I fell off again and went back to this habit. So you can see the pattern here, how hard it really is to quit this horrible habit. I never used this e-cigarettes. I believe we call them e-cigarettes then. I never used them because one thing that you need to know about trying to quit the habit of smoking is that it's expensive. It's not only expensive to smoke, but it's also expensive to quit this habit, which is really contradictory when we want people to stop that horrible habit, and then these products are really expensive. So I kind of went to thinking to myself, why am I buying all these expensive products and they're not working either? So I stopped looking for, should I say, pharmaceutical ways to stop smoking. And I tried, really, really tried my best to stop. And I have to say that it was a long journey, but I made it. I made it, and I'm so proud to say that I have been smoke free, or I haven't touched a cigarette since 2016, when I actually just stopped and quit this habit. So the actual method that helped me to quit smoking, I have to say, is somehow, or it's kind of like a miracle. It is, I didn't have to spend much money, and I didn't have to do much. I just needed to make the decision. I don't want to be associated with this habit, and then go through with it. Day by day, make sure that I follow up with this decision that I've made for myself, for my health, and for my well-being, right? So I made this decision to quit smoking in 2016, in June, actually. I remember it very well because I say it was a miracle, but it was also a very emotional time in my life. And it was long overdue to quit the habit. And I guess I was pushed into it. The universe kind of pushed me towards the right direction. Now, it was very dramatic, unfortunately, because that month and that year, I lost my beloved auntie to a horrible disease, which I believe was emphysema. She had been complaining of having trouble breathing. And remember, I told you that she used to smoke. So she had told us that she had developed asthma, but I later found out in her medical journals that she actually had lung emphysema. And I believe that was the reason why she passed on at a very young age. So this happens to me, and I am devastated. I am just, it was a very eye-opening moment for me. It was very emotional. It was very sad for my whole family. And it was even sadder because I could not go to the funeral because she was all the way back in Uganda and I was here. And I was also working. And at this point, I was also working in palliative care. And ironically, I had seen this type of disease and this type of patients around me. So I guess I was pushed to the right direction in a way that if nothing else works, if you cannot make these other methods work, then you know, the universe just, here you go. I see it like this now, today, but obviously then it was just devastating. I do remember that I was in London just a few days before that. I was celebrating my young sister's, she had gotten a degree, a master's degree in Kent. So we had been there and partied, just time of her life. Really happy for her. And I had my last cigarette that evening. And being that I'm from Sweden, I had Swedish cigarettes, and I didn't want to purchase a new pack in London. So I thought, I'll buy cigarettes when I get back in Sweden. And I got back really late, so I didn't buy anything. And then when I woke up in the morning, or before I went to bed, actually, that day, I believe, I got the news that my auntie had passed on. And trust and believe, I did not buy any cigarettes ever again. And I guess it was eye-opening, shocking, but it was something that, well, I couldn't control. The only thing that I could control is how I reacted and everything that I did after that to make sure that I also, hopefully, do not become a victim like that, especially with all the knowledge that I have and all the tools that I have and all the stories and all my patience, just you're learning and you're seeing, you're just getting all this experience. So why wouldn't you do better when you know better? So basically, to sum it up, everything gets better when you quit smoking. Your health gets better, your economy, basically you have more money in your pocket because you're not spending it on this habit. And it's just amazing. One thing that I also have to go back to is your circulation gets better. I remember my hands were constantly cold, especially during the winter season, because you're out there, smoking and trying to keep warm, but you can never get warm because you have this substances constantly in your bloodstream. But when you get rid of them, then your circulation gets better. And obviously, when I also quit smoking, I could take care of my body better because I was aware of my body now. I was aware of my breathing patterns, because there's a way that you have that wheezing a little bit when you smoke. You're breathing, either you're breathing heavily, like you have to take, you take basically, what's it called? You're not taking deep, you're not deep breathing. You're taking very shallow breaths all the time. And this, we can hear that. We can hear you breathe as a smoker. We're constantly hearing you breathing because you have to, catch your breath all the time. And if you're not, for me, I was wheezing a little bit. And I could hear that more when I went to bed. Like before I fell asleep, I could hear myself wheezing before I could fall asleep. That got better. So with all of this said, I want to inspire you, or I want to let you know that if you have thought about quitting this habit, this is your wake-up call, or this is your sign that it's time to get rid of it. Do whatever it takes to quit smoking. And that brings me to how you can do it. Something that I can send you with to help you. So, tips on how you can quit smoking. So let's start with all the methods, the medical methods that you can use. We talked about the gum. If you can try that and see how it works for you, right? It didn't work for me, but it could work for you. We have the patches. Get some patches and try and see if that helps you. So even if this didn't work for me, it could work for you, right? Another thing you can do is go to your clinic, to your healthcare clinic, and talk to the nurses. There are so many good programs at these clinics that you can use and that can help you quit smoking. So if you're having trouble finding methods to help you quit smoking, make sure that you talk to professionals. Go to your nurses and doctors. They will give you methods that could work for you. There's even hypnosis that can help you quit this habit. One thing that you shouldn't do, though, is replacing a bad habit with another, right? I do not want you to start vaping. This is a big no-no, right? I don't want you getting this horrible replacements, right? This is nothing that will help you quit the habit. In fact, you're just worsening the problem. So do not quit a bad habit and replace it with another. So no vaping, no overeating, basically, because a lot of people have trouble getting rid of a habit. So what they do is they replace it with another bad habit, like sugar. No, don't pick up a sugar addiction, replacing it with the other addiction, right? So no vaping, no overeating, no sugar. What you want to do instead is plan your journey on how you're going to get nicotine free, basically, how you're going to quit this habit of smoking. Make a plan, pick a day, and start there, right? If you fall off, that's okay. Start again. If gum doesn't work for you, start again. Start with something. Just don't give up. Make sure that you don't give up and you follow through with your plan. Now, if you cannot create a plan by yourself, for yourself, get professionals to do it for you. If you're here in Sweden, there are so many different ways that you can get help to quit this habit. So there's a stop smoking line that you can visit. It's slutarökalinjen.se. So that is stopsmokingline.se. I will write it down here. That is even a number that you can call, that there's a number you can call when you visit their line, or their website, sorry. And I believe there are nurses or people that can help you, talk you through your journey to stop smoking. And this is also connected to your healthcare center. So this is all part of the program of helping the nation, helping people to quit the habit, because we know. So to sum everything up for you, this was my personal story on how I actually quit the habit of smoking, and proud of it. But going back to the problem, the actual public health problem that we have in society today, I want to basically sum up with some data and some information that I believe is helpful, that could be helpful in your journey, and also for you to get a picture of how severe this addiction is and how it's affecting all of us. When a child, let's say a child like I was, because I was a child when I started smoking, when a child starts smoking, this does not benefit anyone. It doesn't benefit the family, the direct family. It doesn't benefit the child itself, and it doesn't benefit society. So obviously we need to work harder in helping young children to not start smoking, and also to help young adults to quit smoking, and also the older people that can get rid of this habit. So I thought that I would leave you with some data on the smoking epidemic, which it is. So according to the WHO, tobacco epidemic is one of the biggest public health threats in the world. And it's killing over 8 million people around the world every year, right? That is not a small number. More than 7 million of those deaths are a result of direct tobacco use, while around 1.3 million are a result of non-smokers being exposed to secondhand smoking. That is just not okay. So I didn't even talk about the secondhand smoking, but as you can see, that is also a problem. So when you're smoking, you're not only harming yourself, but you're also harming people around you. So the WHO goes on to say that tobacco is harmful. All sorts of tobaccos are harmful. And there is no safe level of exposure to tobacco, right? So you cannot tell me that you're smoking 1 or 2 cigarettes, so it's just enough. No. All types of tobacco are harmful, and there's no safe level of use. Obviously, of all tobaccos, cigarettes are the most common products that is used worldwide. And other types of tobacco is obviously the water pipes that we talked about, cigars, cigarillos, and heated tobacco. And here in Sweden, we also have the snuff. And then there's the pipe tobaccos, the bids, crickets, you name it. So all of these are tobacco products that are included in this epidemic. So whatever you do and whatever you choose to smoke, remember that it's harmful, directly harmful for your health. So obviously on this platform, we don't only talk about the problem, we also talk about the solution. Now, WHO obviously went on to talk about how many millions worldwide that are affected by tobacco use. And they went further on to create a framework to make sure that tobacco use is under control worldwide. So the WHO has a framework that is called the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, which is FCTC. And these are guidelines to provide countries with the foundation they can implement and manage the tobacco control. So this makes the work become reality. So WHO introduced the Empower measures, and these are measures intended to assist in the country level implementation of effective intervention to reduce the damage of tobacco contained in the FCTC. So the 6 Empower measures are monitor tobacco use and prevention policies, protect people from tobacco use, offer help to quit tobacco use, warn about the dangers of tobacco, enforce bans on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship, and also raise taxes on tobacco. So these are the measures that can be used for nations. Obviously, these measures that WHO has created and this framework is on a global level. But obviously for you as an individual, there are other measures that you can take to get smoke and tobacco free or cigarette free. Make sure that you get assistance with this if you cannot manage by yourself. All right, then, I guess that sums it up. And this was my personal story on how I quit smoking. And yeah, I hope that this will help you in some way. Maybe directly you will quit smoking, or maybe you can help somebody else by sharing this video to them and this content. I hope that you enjoyed this video and this information, this health information. And I hope to see you back here in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for supporting my work here on Nurse Aisha. I'll see you in my next video.